to welcome you to this Bulletin ministry training for the Crossing. Appreciate you being a part of this ministry. I want you to understand that this is a very critical, very important ministry. Just a little bit of a testimony. My life was drastically changed at a church camp, and as you know, at a church camp there's all this worship and the programming and Bible teaching and sermons and all that stuff. But actually for me, my life was changed before any of that started. And it was changed as some of my peers began to arrive at the camp. Before any programming started, I saw in them something that they had that I didn't. And as people come onto our campus from the parking lot all the way through to every ministry, I really want people to experience Jesus, the love, joy, peace, patience, kindness. I mean, that's what I saw in those people, and I didn't have that. And there are a lot of people that come through our doors, and my goodness, they have issues and baggage and problems. And when they get to experience Jesus and see something going on here, then they will lean into and listen more clearly to what God has to say to them that day. So I just want you to understand the importance of every single ministry we have at the Crossing. Just another testimony, there was a guy whose life was flying pretty high, pretty good, and then all of a sudden things just came crashing down to the point of he was possibly going to be spending some jail time. And, as he, humbled himself and he came to the Crossing and came and joined us at our campus, just kind of slipping in and trying to slip out. But he even gets tearful to this day sharing this, but the person that made the difference in his life that day was a person that was handing out bulletins. Of everything else that happened that entire day, the one that stands out is that one. There are no small ministries. There are no ministries that are less important than the other. We need everyone doing what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to do it. And if we do that, then God can use us to make a very big impact into the lives of people. So again, thank you for being a part of this ministry and taking a few minutes to go through this training with me today. Just really quick, the purpose the purpose of the ministry, if I would ask many people, they would say, so Bulletin ministry, what's your job? They're going to say, hand out bulletins. Actually, that's not the primary purpose of your job. The number one thing that we want, as you can follow along below, is that we want you to love on people. Love on everybody that comes through. Show them Jesus. Share with them Jesus by your heart, your spirit, your actions, your words. Also, keep an eye out for those first-timers. They may throw up some flags, and you may realize, if they come up and they have coffee and they ask, is it okay if we take coffee? You probably know that that's going to be a first-timer or a relatively new person. So it's like, absolutely, are you new here to the Crossing? Because it's a pretty safe one. And you can just love on them and welcome them and just tell them to make themselves at home and enjoy this day together. So the number one thing is to love and greet absolutely everyone. And if you happen to think of it, hand them a bulletin, hand them a hunk of paper. Now at our campuses we have the bulletin jacket with things inside, and so that's what I'm referring to when we talk about bulletin. Just to be clear with you all. Also, you help through showing Jesus, like I talked about. You help us create that fun, warm, friendly environment. And the last thing we want is a grumpy-looking bulletin person or someone that's bored and they think their only job is just to hand out hunks of paper to people that they really couldn't care less about, or whatever. All right, so it's all about just sharing Christ through our actions, through our attitude, through our spirit. I mean, when you think about the Spirit of God being in us, and you think about love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, it has to be way up here of what God gives us. It's not even what the world knows and understands. So when people come in, they need to see that radiating. And I go, you know what? If we're prayed up and we're prepared, and we've taken time that morning to get our, to get our thought and mental everything together, you know what? That's just going to pour out. I just want you to think about this, and maybe this will open a door for you. Picture Jesus in your ministry, the Bulletin person. All right? Probably ought to just pause the video and let you list 10 things that you would expect to see of Jesus if he was doing this ministry. And just let that be your training.